Hello, I'm Ellen Horan, President of the Greater Reading Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and want to welcome you to this week's Member Spotlight. I have with me Heather Clark, and she is founder of Go Fish. But Heather, as I looked at your website, I see you do a whole lot more. To give you a clue of everything she's involved in, about an hour ago, she said she was covered in fish scales. So you clean up very nicely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
One of the things I was intrigued by, you actually have a number of businesses. You have your Fairgrounds Market store. You have a market in West Reading. You have the restaurant in West Reading. You do catering. And now you're doing some cooking classes. So is this like a serial entrepreneur, that you have in you?
I don't know. It's more like a hobby, I guess, right now. I'm just kind of having fun. I have a great team that's helping me create all these great ideas and food for everybody. So it just started off with when I moved here to Berks County back in 2002, I got a job working at Stauffer's Seafood, and I really didn't know anything about the industry. I grew up in the middle of Bradford County on a little tiny piece of property in Rome, Pennsylvania, where we ate fish sticks and other fish that we caught out of our ponds. So I knew nothing about scallops, clams, or anything. So I have to give Ed Stauffer a lot of credit for giving me the knowledge into this industry. So when I graduated from college from Albright, moved out to Allentown, and after some time, Ed called me back and asked me if I wanted to buy his business. And so at the time, I didn't have the money to finance it, but Richard Rhodes was kind enough to offer me some money to buy just the Fairgrounds Farmers Market location. So that was back in 2005.
Wow, and how old were you?
I was old enough to know better. Can't tell you that.
Oh, jeez.
But I was recently out of college, so that gives you any idea.
I know. Impressive. Very impressive to do it so young.
So 3 years after we started that business, Severin Fairman approached me and he said, you need to be open 6 days a week. We need to get you a location somewhere else. So his store was on Penn Avenue in West Reading, and he found a piece of property that was connected to his location, 619 Penn Avenue. Beautiful location, but it was too big. So we decided that we were going to make it into like a little fish and chips place along with a fish market.
Okay.
And that was back in 2008.
Okay.
And we opened that in October of 2008. And when the stock market took
timing's everything.
Yeah. So I was really, really scared. However, the community rallied and really supported us. A friend of ours lost his job as an executive chef, and approached me and said, "Hey, why don't you turn this into like a restaurant? I could be your chef." And so I thought, okay, sure, why not? Let's try it out. I had his cooking before. He was an excellent chef. And so we did that. And so now we have this great restaurant, which we recently expanded upstairs in our facility. So it's been
it's
really
always
good.
busy there. I'm the type of person that always forgets to make the reservations. And so we love your place because it's a BYOB. So it's nice. You can bring your own wine and, who doesn't like sushi, but we only get in about half the time because I always forget the darn reservations. And so that's great that you are that busy.
Yeah, it's, we have everybody wants that time set between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So it is hard to accommodate our small kitchen.
Yeah.
Feeding 60 people between those hours.
Yeah.
But, we can always fit you in if you want to come a little later.
I'll work on that. I'll work on the reservations thing. So tell me, what are the struggles you face in running this business, or the challenges, I should say?
The challenge is the restaurant industry is really, really challenging because you have your good days, you have your bad days. And during those slow times, you still have to have a chef on. You still have to have a sushi chef on. You still have to have a dishwasher, waitress on. And it's not like you can take those employees and put them up on a shelf and borrow their time later. So when it's slow and you have a couple of slow days in 1 week, those times are really, really challenging. So you really need to manage your cash flow carefully with the restaurant. With the fish market, it's just a totally different breed.
Okay.
When it's slow, I can always send somebody home and it's okay. But with the restaurant, you can't send the chef home.
Right.
You need that person there to, make the dinners. You can't send, the sushi chef home. They need to make the sushi.
Right.
You can't send the waitress home. You need them to wait on people. So I found that to be the most challenging, is how to manage your cash flow in the restaurant industry during your slow times.
Now, tell me about where you get your fish.
We get our fish from all over the United States. I do try to carry a lot of MSC certified products. That stands for Marine Stewardship Council. It's a certification program for sustainability offered in the United States. I think it's a great program. They go out and search for the farmers or the artisan fishermen that are using methods that don't endanger the natural habitat of what's going on in our oceans. So right now, for example, the best product that we carry is a Lac du Art salmon from Scotland. It doesn't contain any antibiotics. There's no dyes in the product. When you taste the salmon, it's very, very buttery. It melts in your mouth. There is a huge taste difference between any other salmon on the market today. It has won tons of awards. We actually just received quite an honor of the president coming to our facility here in West Reading and letting us know what a great job we're doing, which was really, really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Not many people can say that.
It is a little bit more expensive to purchase the salmon, but the taste is there. You can taste the difference, and you can, feel good about buying a product that is helping, your grandchildren are going to be able to eat something that's, saving. That's a good thing.
Very good. Question for you. With so many businesses and so many balls in the air, how do you balance having some Heather time? How do you find yourself not at the restaurant all the time? It seems whenever there's the fairs out on, Penn Avenue, I see you there, working it. When there's a catering gig that I end up at this event, you're there working it. You work quite a bit. How do you balance that?
Well, you try to incorporate your social life with work. So you have, I have a good time when I'm at work. I get to meet people. Because I'm not from here, I guess that maybe that helps a little bit. So I get to meet new people. But I don't know. That's a really, really good question. I try to take breaks in the summer. Sundays and Mondays, I'm generally off. Cell phones are great, so you can always use your cell phones when you're sitting on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's a really good question. I guess because I'm single and I don't have children, I find it a lot easier than somebody with a family.
Right.
So I wouldn't really.
Good. Well, Heather, you've accomplished quite a bit, for a young person to have these several businesses interrelated, but it's still several businesses going is congratulations on that. You've done an amazing job. Is there one resource that you would recommend that has helped you in Berks County to grow these successful businesses that maybe would be of interest to other members?
Well, within the chamber, I've met a lot of people. One of my business mentors that I look up to is from Electric, and I met him through the Chamber of Commerce. I also met some people with that's called Girl Power. I met them through the chamber, and they have their own group now of networking that we've developed. Just supporting each other, which is great, and a bartering system that we've set up that has been really, really helpful, especially during my slow months when I need help either, with our photography or with our website, things like that. So I really appreciate the community coming together to help
That's
us
one
out.
thing that is nice about Berks County is we are a community, and I think people do look after one another.
When I first moved to Berks County, I thought this was such a huge city and that it would take me forever to get to know people. But now that I've moved over to West Reading and have met this side of town, everybody knows each other. It's crazy. I just met so many people, and the community really, really comes together to support each other.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Well, Heather, congratulations on your success. And
thank you.
Much continued success wished for you. And thank you for sharing your story today with the Chamber membership.
Thank you.